So now I change that to, oh, sorry, I'm just changing some settings here. Hey everybody, just gotta change one thing before I start. Alright, so just changing the playing around with the music settings. So back on this guy. This is the Dragon Tyrant from Kingdom Death. For the people who don't know, also spoiler alert. This guy is like a human form of a dragon, and then in the game he transforms into this giant, like, massive dragon. You have to kind of defeat him and get the skin alive. That's if you play the King Death monster game. Okay, so we're basically finishing up the red end of this guy last time. So I'm not too happy with the cloak, the red on it yet. There's still a little dodgy detail I could probably pick out. But it's kind of hard to tell right now just simply because there's all this like ornate scroll work that I want to do. I want to do the gold first before I touch anything else in the red, and I'll just show me what I have to change first. He's got scroll work here, as well as on his hips and then on his chest area. And also, the client wants like a little bit of like a red thing on his chest. Like a red glow, because the dragon model, which is massive, it's like, oh, it's almost like 10 inches tall. It's got this giant gem in his chest, and so it's got like an exposed rib cage, and then a gem in there. So he kind of wants to have like the gem color kind of going through this guy, so to show like he has this kind of like weird abnormality in his chest. So he also had a bunch of scroll work up here, like a crown, which I gotta fix. I won't be working on his head until after I've done that. Okay, but I think he's done okay so far. I'm happy how he's turned out. And then this whole back piece is just gonna be straight gold, so nothing too fancy. Gold in a wash. I actually don't know what he wants for the stick. The stick is like, looks like it's probably gold and wood. Maybe I'll just do it separately. Anyway, let's work on some gold here before I do anything else. Oh, also, just want to show off the base. Wow, I don't know if you guys can even see that. This is white. Let me just change the setting first before I can show you the base. Let's see. Let's try this. Alright. So this is the base we got for him. This is the base that I've sculpted. And I sell on my Rain City Hobbies webpage. And so this is a bit. Because the Kingdom Death world basically has like a lot of the floor is basically like, I guess you'd say like they're sculptures, like, and most of them are just faces. So like there's like whole planes of faces. One of the locations is called. And most of them are serene, but sometimes they're like, you know, creepy. Like this guy's just like happy and sad and screaming faces in this one. It's a little different one. It's all cracked and stuff. Yeah, that's the base I'm playing in, but I won't be doing it on stream. Alright, let's go back and change this. Let's try that. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Okay, so let's just go and get myself a gold here. I'm gonna do a dark gold. It's probably gonna be a bronze. So this is Molten Bronze by P3. I'm gonna basically do all of the gold work with this just to block it out. Okay, it needs a better shake. It's a little chunky. Much better. Let's clean out my brush. There's way too much paint on it. So for this metal, I'm basically going to just block it out with this bronze, and then highlight back over with a lighter yellow brick gold. And then once I've sealed it, it'll be all dulled out. So you'd be using dull coat and it'll be very flat, not very shiny. Then I'll go back over it just some of the most raised areas with bright, shiny gold. It'll help it pop. Okay, it's a little bit of dust. I did wipe this model. I have a little makeup brush I used to clean off models before I do it. I just must have missed it. Okay. And try not to overpaint here. Because after I've done all the gold here, I can see how much more work I need to put into the red skirts and the flesh and everything. And since the gold isn't too bad, it's like kind of off by itself. It will be interacting with the gold, the red that much. I'm gonna go back and touch up the red. More for the areas around it, basically, like all like this. Because the gold is got a very high contrast. Just want to see how much it darkens or lightens up the rest of the red. Okay. Let's go back and redefine some of the borders in some areas. I prefer my model to have a nice clean border. Because when the red transitions into the gold, it doesn't look that nice. You have a dark brown or black border. Gives us nice depth. Also helps you hide and clean up any edges. Give it a border. Got some chill music going on right now, just help. This is a test music just to see what you like or not. If you guys like it, let us know. If you enjoy this kind of music, let us change it. Quite a variety. A lot of old school work. It's all mirrored, so every single side of them has it. I'm using my bigger brush for this part. This tip is adequately sharp enough for this kind of stuff. It wouldn't be too dark. I'm not obtain good paint this way. So I'm doing a decent thick coat for this. Let's turn down the music a little bit just to... Let's try that. How's that sound? No more audible this time? Basically one side done. I'll have to go back over and just clean up some things. Brighten up that bronze a bit. Okay, let's clean my brush here. Do the other side. I don't know, I'm thinking what should I do with the highlighting? Should I do it before or after I do the border of the pool? So if I do the bordering after I've done the brighter gold highlighting, I might screw up some of the highlights, but if I do the borders then the highlights, I might do the paint again and ruin the border. I'm thinking what's easier. Less work for me. I'm going to do the border then the highlighting. Let me see. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to use that black wash for bordering. Pretty much much faster, but we won't do the small projects, small little pieces. Let's go back with a straight black, which is fine. Looking a little better. Yeah, I think I might do less contrast than I was initially going to do on the red, just because of how the gold's turning out. The gold's going to have such a high contrast. I don't want to look too busy. And since I want the gold to be a little more center of attention, I'll have less contrast on the red dress. Higher contrast and higher brightness basically draws the eye more. I still have to work a little bit on the dress part, but not as much as I initially thought. Just pick out some more details, which is very soft. Okay. So the first coat of that is done. I'll go back over a little bit with bronze again, but for the most part, that's what I want. Let's do his hips. I think some part around here where his lower rib cage is, I'm going to darken it a bit. It's a little too light for what it is, but I'll just use a paint, do a thin coat. Okay. One side done for now. Just like the other previous stuff, I'll touch up some of the thin areas with the bronze again. I like wait for it to dry first. You don't want to get chunky, especially in small areas. I find most metallic paints, since the pigment's a bit thicker than normal paints, especially for private press. Normal private press pigments are very thin and small and delicate. They're very thick. You get the metallic flakes, and so it gets chunkier much easier. So when you do more thinner coats, if you do too much, it'll get chunky and a weird texture. It'll destroy the detail, because that detail on the guy's hips, or basically any of this kind of intricate work here, is very delicate. And so you don't want any like weird chunky bits. It'll just destroy the illusion of being elegant. Okay. I'll be doing this guy's whole halo thing in one process, but that's the last thing I'm going to do. Be very delicate with this part. It's going to be also very, very delicate on the guy's crown area. Definitely don't want to destroy anything I've worked on there. There we go, a little better. How's that looking? Look much better once I've done the borders. Okay, so this part is super soft. It's hard to tell what is what. Hard to make exactly where is flesh and where is the crown. Might just have to wing it in some of these areas in this guy's head. So. I wish I had made it a little more defined, this crown. I guess it'd be harder to cast and get destroyed easier because it's such a delicate thing. It is hard plastic though, so I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of very delicate work doing the border on that guy's crown. Hopefully I haven't overpainted too much. I try like to paint them on an angle towards the light so I can catch the raised details because it's so soft. Okay. There we go. A little more kingly, I guess. Alright, let's go back over, start with the base again. Any thin areas? Using my paintbrush an angle just so it hits the raised surface more than the accidentally overpaint. Because it hits all the raised stuff like this. We do it like this, and you just do it very quickly. It's like a little dry brush. You can't be too fast, you might overpaint and ruin some of your work. And make sure you get a nice solid coat on the undersides, like the darker areas, because I'm not going to highlight that part. So it's got to be a good solid gold, bronze color. Because there won't be a second layer of brighter gold on it. I completely missed this whole strand right there. Otherwise we're going to go back and check and make sure. You never want to do one thick layer. That's how you ruin detail and stuff. Okay. A little bit overpaint in the corners there, kind of caught, and then just pull all the paint on my brush into the corner. I'll have to fix that when I do the borders. Okay. Well, I've missed a part here. It's got a whole bunch of stuff right in the back area. Oh hey, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good. Painting this here Dragon Tyrant. How are you doing this fine afternoon? Hey, thank you. Thank you, Freak Dino. Furk Dino? Sorry. Furk Dino. I'm just working on this guy's gold parts now before I've finished up the red. I'm still considering kind of freehanded one on the back. I don't know what I want to do there. Oh, there's so much detail here. That's so soft. I have to just like wing it at this point. Yeah, it's just this one area is just kind of just blends in with the rest of it. Okay. Okay, so like I said, I was going to do the borders before I do the brighter gold. I'm still touching up some areas. I think I'm very close to doing the borders now. So I'm going to use like a dark brown for the red cloth areas, and then a black for this there. And this part, I'll probably use a dark brown as well for his chest. So I'm going to use, if I can find it, it's Umbral Umber. There we go. It's kind of like a purpley kind of brown. Very unsaturated, but it's not black, which is not what you want. You never want to use like a pure black unless you want to do like very cartoony or very dark areas. Give me a second. A little bit of necessary lip chap. Okay, I'm also going to change my water out. My water's got too much metallics in it. So I've got a secondary cup for non-metallics. Okay, let's try this. So you never really want the... Yeah, I need to change my brush too. So you never really want the metallics to go in the corners, like in the recesses, because it's where the light hits the most, and so any kind of like overpainting you've done on the metallics really shows up in the corners. So that's why I want to do the black border. Okay, nice thin brush here. You can also just take your brush, your pinky, and just rub over the place you painted, and it'll remove all the paint that you've done on the gold. Kind of like a cheat, because it won't get in the recesses when you put your little pinky over the brush, over the area. Sorry. Unfortunately, this brush is a little too fine. Let's do a less fine brush. Here we go. Almost need to get more paint. I put way too little on the brush or on the palette. Okay. I think I did say I was gonna use ink for this, but I'm starting this and I kind of like it, so I'll keep on doing. Okay, a little too wet. So the most important part right here is the ink. The previous ink did a good job over there a bit, but the ink didn't do a good job over on this raised area. So I didn't want it to cool so much, so just make sure this got a good border here. And don't over paint the border onto the red. To make it look nice and thin. Coming along. This is just one way of doing this. You could also just, instead of doing like the lighter gold, just do it almost. Start with this color actually, and then do the gold, and then the light gold. So like You can, instead of doing like the base coating the design with the gold, like the molten bronze first, you just do it with the umber, and then do highlighting with this instead of if you didn't want to do the border like this. This kind of keeps the brightness in the area. So this is like a longer method, so it's not as efficient, you might say, but it keeps the natural brightness of that area. Because you would basically go dark first, it makes the whole area darker. So it means you have to do more layers of your lighter colors to make it look brighter. I'm a big fan of doing bright colors, making it look cartoony, because this is not a realistic figure. Pretty much most miniatures are not really realistic, so I like to make them just a little cartoony, bright, high saturation, make them look interesting. There we go. So you kind of see the difference between the unbordered side and the bordered side. It's a little dark, but that's fine. Once I do the brighter gold, it'll really pop. A little bit of touching up. A few parts I missed. There we go. I don't know if it's focus for you guys or not. Alright, time for the second side. I'm just gonna clean out the brush. Just make sure, if you're using a good brush with a good tip, you always clean it out every once in a while. Because the pigment will start creeping up to the base of the brush, and then if it dries there, it's impossible to clean, and it makes your brush splay. So you won't have a good tip anymore. Also, what I like to do when I'm like putting the brush in my mouth, I give it a little spin, and if you spiral the bristles, it helps retain the tip. So whenever I'm cleaning my brush, always give it a little bit of spiral afterwards. And always make sure your brushes are in the position that you want them to be. So like, you always want your tip brushes to have like a fine tip point. So make sure your brushes are always having a tip. If you accidentally drop one on the ground and it splays a bit, just quickly get it moist and give it the tip again. Otherwise, it'll lose that memory and start turning into like a terrible brush tip. Use a black wash for the guy's waist area. If it was like a lower quality miniature, I probably would have started with the dark color first and then done the bronze, then the gold, but since it's like a higher quality miniature, I'm doing the bordering instead. It's slower, but I find it looks better. This is to my centerpiece quality. Check my page. Not my highest, but it's my second highest. Yeah, I always like to give like metals like a nice defined border, or pretty much anything actually. It really helps define it, because like if you're looking at it like a miniature from like really far away and like arm's length, and it doesn't have a clean border and it's like very similar color tones, it just looks muddy and murky. So I always like to have things that look like arm's distance away. If you can't see detail, it's not good enough. But yes, it kind of gives it like a cartoony kind of look. So any kind of bordering, I think it looks great. But don't try and do a black, just try and do browns or whatever color, because like red and gold, kind of like browns were great for the doing borders and stuff. Let me give it some edging. But you wouldn't use brown for like you're doing greens. Actually, well, it depends what you're doing, but try and keep in the same kind of like tones. Like if you're doing warm colors, use warm borders, etc., etc. Unless you're doing OSL. OSL is a tricky beast. Because if you're doing like, for example, I did the mage this weekend. Or no, I did the mage a little while ago, sorry. If you're doing OSL and you're doing like a warm color, like the models like wearing a red cape, then you've got a cool color, like the cool, like the object source is like a cool color, like a blue, for example. You could do some like the edging and shadows blue as like the light reflecting off objects and stuff. Kind of make it more interesting. A little harder to pull off though. It also depends on how you're doing the object source light, because most of the time you want the object source to be not as strong as the sun, or your main source, which is like normally the sun. So your object source will have like kind of go hide in the shadows and show its true colors there. But remember, like for example, blue color doesn't really show up on reds. Kind of gives like a weird grayish look, because red materials don't reflect blue light. So you have to think of things like that. So like a red shirt will reflect red light very easily. And since white is everything, it reflects all colors, so white materials. So that's why I say object source lighting is a very tricky beast. Thank God this guy doesn't have any. He's already huge. He's like a 54 scale miniature, it feels like. Here's a normal Kingdom Death miniature. This one I'm doing, I'm associating. You can see the scales difference, right? Like she's like normal scale for all the humans, and this guy's like massive, almost twice her height. A little ridiculous. Okay. I did a little bit of overpainting there. You can see where I've done a little bit of not so great. But it's okay, I'll fix it when I do the reds. So I haven't finished my reds yet on this guy's dress. I wanted to see how the gold would turn out. And so once I finish up the gold, or once I finish up the red, I can clean up all the gold overpainting. But the red dress is very close to being finished. Okay, let's do this guy's chest. Try and darken up this guy's the under parts more. Very depth. There we go. I'd rather overpaint onto the gold than overpaint onto the flesh. Just a little trick. And that kind of really helps. Because the gold's a little bit too flesh colored for my sake, like. So you want to give it a nice clear border, because also it's got like, this gold isn't like in his skin, it's over top of his skin, so it'd be a bit of a shadow there, right? And so basically what I'm trying to do is just mimic a shadow with this border. Overpainted a little bit on that chest area, right there. But as long as you keep the whole border area smooth, you can kind of like just ignore that. As long as not too much. I might have to fix that one though. You just don't want any sharp edges. Alright. Also, I'm just gonna just, because it's like, what's it called again? I think it's Irish knots or Gaelic knots, I think they're called. It's kind of like that design, so it's like overlapping strips of gold. So I'm trying also to define that with the brown. Okay, now I've got to do the dreaded crown thing. Oh, before I forget. And where the gold touches the skin. Make sure it's got a little bit of a border. Okay. How's that looking? Much better? I think I also gotta do the red. I'm gonna do like a pinkish color in his chest. Because I don't want to be too red like his... I'll make it look separate, right? Make it look like it's not part of his cloak. So it has like a bit of like a sore pinkish area where the rock, where it's like the crystal is coming out of his chest. Or glowing in his chest, maybe. Okay, let's finish up the crown first. Get rid of any dust. Excuse me. Okay. And this will help define the crown here. I need a bit more brown. Okay. I got a little too much paint in my brush. It's creeping up onto the metal part. Okay. Let's do the side first. So I'm gonna give it a nice defined border, which is darker than the gold or the bronze that I currently have. You also want to make it nice and smooth too. You don't want it jagged. Better to overpaint on the gold than overpaint onto the skin. Because I'm going to go back over that with some bright gold. So give it the contrast that you want. Make sure it's the proper consistency. It's a little too thick there. I'm drying my brush. And once I've done the gold, I can finish up the guy's dress and also his skin.
Our struggle as artists isn't about appeasing the crowd.
There's a little bit of shading here too.
Rather, it's about
darken brown, darken that bronze a bit.
We create things
So
as
any
a
parts need to be a little darker.
struggle.
It's got so much little detail here. It's so soft. It's hard to tell.
Of self. Ben wave isn't necessarily a thing you achieve. Rather,
Okay.
is a state
This
of
is a
mind
weird, like,
which you
bald
constantly
spot.
strive toward. This all comes from an understanding that ideas aren't static, but fluid, like water. Be like water.
Do you have something else that just started playing in the background?
You hearing acoustics or lyrics? I think there's just some.
It's like spoken word.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Skip it.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's just go back and touch up this part. Make sure though the tips are nice solid border around the whole thing. Very important. Okay, let's do the black now. I'm just gonna use a black wash and treat like a paint. Actually, no, let's just use black. No wash, just straight black. This is a Thalmar black, if I find it. There we go. So, all these little parts right here in this waist area. And it's overlapping, so I'm just gonna define the overlapping parts too. And block in some areas. Just get the borders in the areas that I want it to have. Because if it's too soft, it just looks muddy and improperly painted. Got a little bit of mesh in there, so I'm just going to black out the inner parts. There we go. It's like the Gaelic knot thing, it's just overlapping plates. Hard to tell what's over, what's under some of these parts. Okay. Might have to go back with the bronze in some areas. So I might have overpainted a bit. It's just so soft here, it's just hard to tell what is what. I might just wing it and make my own detail. Okay, and there's also this part right here. I didn't know what was what, but I want to make it black here. It's got these weird hooks areas. I'm just going to black it out right here. I'll have to go back with the gray again. Give it a bit more of an edge, but I'm just making sure it's black. There we go. Okay, let's do a brighter gold and work from there. So this is, let's see this, I have a solid gold here from P3. I haven't used it in a while. I'm not a big fan of bright gold, so it might be a little chunky, it might be unusable. Okay, it's fine. It's just very yellow. So I might mix it with the redder bronze. Because this is quite bright. Let's see how it works first. It might be okay. It might be terrible. Oh, it's actually not too bad. Okay, let's start with some. Give a bit taper off. It goes into the shadows areas. I'm trying to keep some of that border. this turn out. Look, a nice contrast. No, a little bit overpaint there. The brighter gold. That's fine. Gotta be very careful. There we go. Looking much better. Now let's work on the raised areas. The folds are letting the light hit it most. Kind of see where the folds are, where there's brighter gold. It'll look much better once I've dulled it, so it'll still retain the brightness, but it won't be it won't be shiny. And then I'll go back over and just do the most extreme raised areas with the gold, and I'll retain the metallics. It'll have a little bit of shine still from metallics when I dull it. Use a dull coat, but it won't be the same kind of flare as this currently has. Which is what I really like. And people always comment on that. A little hard angle to see. I might have messed up the bottom one. But that's fine, I'll go back over the brown if I remember to do that. There we go. Okay. So let's work on the back side now. Sorry, apparently I'm being quiet today. Music's a little overpowering, maybe. Just a test music for now. See if you guys enjoy the tunes or not.
The goal of practice is always to keep our beginner's mind.
I like to make the edges much brighter, and then it kind of tapers off.
Keep your beginner's mind. But if you continue to practice
And
1,
it gives a
2,
nice
3
look.
years or more,
Gives a bit of depth too.
you're liable to lose the limitless
A little bit overpaint there.
mind. In the beginner's mind, there is no thought, I have attained something. All self-centered thoughts limit our vast mind. When we have no thought of achievement, no thought of self, we are true beginners.
Not too shabby. It'll require a little bit more work, but probably do it off stream just because it's easy to do it. And it's just more refining, basically. Okay. Just picking out the edges. edges here. There we go. Much better now. A little bit black border gives it a pop. Since it's like overlapping any of the raised areas, you want to give it the brighter gold. And the edges too. Or the ends, sorry. Right here. I find it catches light the most. This little corner right here should catch the light. Oh, a little bit over paint. Also, it's not very smooth. It's got a little chunkiness. Have to clean up later. Whatever, it's fine for now. I'll go back over the black paint and touch up the borders. There's the top part of this. I'm just going to give it a bit of a... There we go. Up any of the when I overpainted with the black border, I can just clean up with this gold. I'm gonna make this whole area shadowed more, so it's gonna be darker. Still retain a little bit of gold, but it's because this whole arm is just kind of shadowing, so it won't be as bright. So it shouldn't be that much metallic, that many metallic reflections. So I'm just gonna fudge it there. Reminds me of like Wonder Woman's kind of like sigil. She has this big giant WW on her chest. It's very similar to that. Maybe he's a superhero. Or actually, I think he's a super villain. Superpower is turning into a dragon. I'm gonna do a thin coat. Blend the gold up a bit. Oh, yes, the crown. Actually, no, let's just do this part on the back before I forget. Save the crown to last. Because I really don't want to do that crown. It's way too soft. Alright, crown time. I said crown time, but I'm actually going to do everything else. Because I really don't want to do it. It's terrible. I'm going to go back and look at everything first before I do the crown. A little bit of touching up to do on the borders. Again, that's fine. Let's see. Not too bad. Get a nice clean brush before I do this crown. Dark brown border. Sure. Very detail I can. can't really tell what the detail was around here, so I'm just kind of making it up as I go along. Little kind of fits. Not great, but I didn't ruin it, so I'm okay with that. Let's go back to this Umber. And just clean up some of the dress. Or I might have done it a little too much. Kind of hard to differentiate this. Some angles it doesn't seem to be overpainted, and other angles it touch. Very metallics doesn't really transfer as much. Except it will catch the light, a certain light, you see wave. Because the base color won't show up, but the metallic effects will. Come back to bronze and just make this red been a little too thin and thick with the gold or the base coat. Okay. Let's do black now. I think this is what it's supposed to be, but I'm just winging it right here. I'm trying to retain the detail of the Gaelic style overlapping plates. Without ruining the detail. I'm trying to darken this whole area up. Just very thin black. There. How's that looking? Really? Good. Okay. I'm gonna just turn down a little bit of this music. How's that? Better? Okay. So, oh yes, his crown. Let's touch up his crown again. I've overpainted a little bit on the gold since it's such a tiny area. I'm just gonna redefine some of that area again, just to make sure it looks nice. Okay. How's my audio now? Is it more audible? It might not. So quiet.
Super proper streams.
I'm also gonna do the guy's eyeballs right now. And any of the shadow areas, I'm gonna use a dark brown instead of black. Just pick out like the eyelids and stuff. And really, he has his eyes open. He's more like squinting, it feels like. So, oh well. Okay, so. Oh, there's a spot I missed. And another spot I missed. And that should be okay. How's that looking? Okay. So I think that gold's good for now. I might. Okay, let's work on some flesh. Okay, let's get a. I'm gonna keep this brush, whatever. A little bit metallic in my paint in the water. I'm just gonna darken this guy's ribs area just a little bit. A little too thin. Let's try this. Just to give it more depth. His armpits and everything, shadowing that area. Same with his neck. And then just in his I don't know, pelvic area, I'm gonna give a bit of a darker area. I don't want to lighten up his chest, I want to darken and give more depth. There we go. Just a very thin coat of umber. Kind of retains the saturation, but it's a little darker brown. There we go. I like that. More depth is always a good thing. And that goes work with hands too. The under part kind of is darker. Just a thin. And also just in between his fingers, just because his shadows aren't black, the shadows are like, because I explained how fingers work, flesh in general, is that if your skin isn't like solid, it's a little transparent, so you'll get a little bit of light going through you, which is like that's why it's always shadows a bit warmer than everything around you, because it's going through your skin and you're hitting blood basically, and it has a little bit of a warm shadow. So it's like brown shadows instead of black. It also depends on your skin tone and everything, right? This is more for like Caucasian, pinkier tones. I think I've done enough here. I don't. If I do more, I'm probably gonna ruin it. So give it. Because I might just actually make it a little more chunkier. I might just want to stop while on my head, but for some reason I keep on going. Alright, I'm gonna stop now. Let's work on the pink chest glow. I'm going to use sanguine highlight. I'm trying to make it subtle and stuff. I don't want to make it too evident, but so I'm just with a very thin coat. Just run along his center of his chest, and then add as much as I want. Wait till it dries. And just do a bit more. Okay. Not too bad. She dries. Just pinkify some of those shadows a bit. Just give it a bit of a more unearthly kind of look. He's already got like alopecia and stuff, so he's got no hair. Apparently he's like a reptile in disguise, so just make him look a little less human. Okay, let's go and take some. This is gonna be some sanguine highlight. I'm just gonna highlight a little bit of his chest area now, because there's still light reflecting off that area. And then I'll retain some of that pinkness. And maybe I can even touch up a little bit of that overpaint I did here. Won't completely fix it, but I'll hide it a bit. I'm just going to do a couple little speckles where the light be hitting a hard edge of his abs. This guy's rock hard, as they say. Okay. Let's get a little more out. I've got way too little on my paintbrush. Let me fix some of this guy's overpainted with a brown. I messed up a little bit. Oh, it probably needs flesh. This, all of this, this color here is not a flesh. It's a yellow. Good for highlighting flesh, but it's not great for actually reapplying flesh tones. I like to use it to highlight flesh. Okay, let's get some midland flesh out and just reapply some flesh. Oh wait a second, before I forget, I'm gonna use this Umbro and just define his toes, which I wasn't doing before. Him and his 4 toes. He's missing hair and missing a toe. This poor guy. Poor dragon person. Okay. No wonder he's angry. People are making fun of his deformity. Oh, there we go. Because unlike the sanguine highlight, or not sanguine highlight, the mouth white base is pink and got some saturation going on it, which is what I need to do the flesh tones properly. Okay, let's go back to the sanguine, or the mouth white base, and just brighten it up. Very thin. Very thin. Oh, too much. Wasn't thin enough. Accidentally overpainted onto his knuckle here. Call me a knucklehead. Okay. I'm gonna brighten up this top part of his hand with the mouth highlight. And I'll bring some of the saturation down. Because your highlights where the skin, the lightest being hit by directly by the sun is less saturation, where the shine is the most. Because it's basically reflecting off like your oil on your skin, so it's kind of reflecting direct sunlight. Now let's finish up his head, because now I can see where this crown is and everything. Okay. Nostrils. Just straight Menoth highlight. Menoth white. I'm gonna be lazier and take a little bit of Umbral and that Sanguine highlight and just make a weird reddish brown and just do his lips a bit. Give him a little bit of color on his lips. That might be a little too dark, a little too brown. Yeah, it's fine. Now I'm going to take some of my sun color, which is the Mammoth white base, and just give him some, because your lips are glossy, right? Right, with licking your lips or whatever, they always got a little bit of sheen to them, so I'm going to highlight it with my artificial sun color, just Mammoth white base. Get a little bit of texture, little cracks and stuff. Just in the bottom lip. He's a very glum fellow. He doesn't really have top lip. Okay. I do want to give him kind of like bags under his eyes. It's a little bit dark change. It's gonna be a purple color. I'm probably going to use, it's not a really realistic color, I'm just gonna use Sanguine base. It's gonna go burgundy kind of red. Here we go. Just a tiny amount. And very thin. Gotta make sure I don't overpaint with this. Just push the paint into the eye. So it doesn't pool outside the eye. And I'll go back and highlight a bit with the Mammoth white base. Because the undercolor is darker, it's purpley, but I still want to have it because it's still a little bit of a shine to it. It's a little shiny there, so hence the Mammoth white base. But his eyes are like not even open that much at all, so I'm just gonna like leave him dark, like he's kind of squinting, giving the old hairy eyeball. Back to the Mammoth white base. Just give it some reclaiming some highlights. And just define some of the features on the face. Like the under eye and stuff. Just you gotta make sure it's very thin, so I'm mixing glob it on. Too much. Didn't retain some of the. Didn't retain too much of the base layer, so to go back and change it. I'm gonna work on his upper lip now. Just little overboard with the mouth white base in that area. This other cheek's a little too dark for me. I'm going to brighten it up. I always find people make the face a little too bright. I'm kind of doing that right now. Because your face shouldn't be brighter than your chest, for example, right? If you should be the same kind of brightness. Unless you're wearing makeup, for example. It should be the same kind of like tone. Unless you have some kind of reason for it, right? If you're like a guy who doesn't wear his shirt off much, and you're out in the sun, so your face is all sunburnt and dark, but your body is normally mainly covered, but you've removed it, then you have a much lighter chest. This guy probably wears the same clothes day in and day out. If I had that kind of abs, I would definitely want to take off my shirt all the time. This guy's proud of his body. He's got to show it off. He's a weird lizard person. Maybe let's call him a gym rat. The rat dragon. Okay. Let's add a bit more saturation to the lighter areas. I'm going to use a mix of mouth white. Here. Make sure it's dry so it doesn't pool weirdly. It's really important to make the face look nice and not funny looking because it's a focal point. I guess the jowl area is a little too bright for what I want it to be. So I'm going to darken it with that flush again. I'm just going to define that guy's other eye. It's still too muddy. It's like squinting. Doing the double hair eyeball, which I've mentioned before, but give him a bit of crow's feet. He's a dragon person, he's probably got scales everywhere. Probably doesn't have very good skin. At least that one eyeball looks nice, so one eye area. Can't really see his eyeball. I made this area too bright. I'm gonna go and get some. Oh, did I? Oh, I'm using the wrong color there. I'm using Cardiff Flesh. Here's some Midland. I wonder it was a little off. Okay, use Midland to help to blend it together a bit more. There we go, much better. There's too much of a contrast there. The Midland's pinker and not as saturated as the Cardiff. That's why I was having problems with my skin tone. Just pure incompetence. Just a little pure speck of that on the nostrils. Okay. Let's go back to this Cardiff and just give him a bit more of a cleft in the middle part. And then less of a. Okay, back to the Cardiff. And just define that guy's cheekbones a bit more. Midland again. Just tone down that area. Very thin. Cardiff again. Just darken it a bit more. Okay. Take some Umbro Umber and mix it with my Cardiac Flesh. And then one of the most extremely shadowed areas. I'm just gonna block this in. Only if it's one side of the face. Gives a bit more depth. It's a little darker, it's a lot less saturated. Okay. I'm also going to give him a bit of pinkiness in the places where it's thin. So his nose, if he had ears, I'd give it on his ears, his knuckles, things like that. So do his nose. Very thin. I like giving people red noses. It's either cold, or they're drunks, or there many reasons why to have pink noses. Yeah, just a little bit on the knuckles here. And also help bring in that the pink in his chest. Okay. Maybe a little more on the nose. That nose a little too. Yeah, that's good. Let's see now. His face is pretty soft. There's like no real hard edges to it. I don't know if I want to go make it harder or not. A little bit of imperfections up here to fix. Using that middling flesh. I think that's fine. I mean, like any model, you can spend hours upon hours upon hours just touching it up. He's got long ass nails. I'm not gonna touch those. I'll do them off camera. There's some like brown with going up to like mouth white. It's just too delicate to do it on camera. All this rig is in the way for the most part. Alright, let's basically done except for the gold up here. And then I want to do the dress on camera too. So let's see now. Let's remove some dust. This part's pretty boring. Let's just do some more on the guy's red skirt. Okay. Get a little bit of air flowing in here. Whoops. Okay. So I was using Scorn Red for this. So I'm gonna get a nice dollop of Scorn Red. And I was darkening it with something. It was black or it's a little noisy outside. Alright, let's try some Sanguine base. And mix it in. Maybe a little too purpley. Yeah, I was using black. So let's just use Samurai Black for this. I'm just gonna go back and just shade in some more of the details, just in the darker areas, like not all of them, just some of them, just the parts that should be shaded more. Okay. Just really doing this because it's higher quality models. Want to make it look nice and fancy. If it was lower quality, I think it would been done a while ago. Okay. Just darken up some areas where I think it should be a little darker. Let's do a thin. And also those creases right here, just give it more definition. There we go. Not perfect, but I think it's damn good. Let's define some more of these little areas. Before we do a lot of bulk work on the guy's back area. Make sure I don't have any white spots on the red cloak before I do the gold. It's very important because it's going to be hard to go back and fix up the red once I've done any of the gold without ruining some of the gold parts. So I'm just going to be careful of that. I think that's okay. I've got, for the most part, it's all where I want it to be. I never really care about the underside of most things. You never look at those parts. Well, you shouldn't look at those parts. You're just being nitpicky if you go in. Okay. Now time to do the another tedious thing, all that gold. I'll probably be done after that. Call it quits after I've done the gold halo. Okay, so I'm gonna do it a mix of molten bronze and this solid gold. So I'm gonna be using a wash afterwards and do a base coat of the mix of the golds and then a base and a wash. And that'll basically be it for that. Because then once I've done the once it's dried and I'm finished the rest of it, I'll go dull coat, and then I'll pick out the edges with a little solid gold, and then I'll give it some brightness. Anyway, I think he's okay. He's a very aristocratic looking guy. Yeah, I have no idea what to do with that part there. I'll do that off stream. Oh well. Some kind of weird pattern which will be similar to this, I think. Gaelic not looking. Alright, let's do that. So, let's get a worse tipped brush out. Solid gold first. That's my base color. And then I'm going to darken it with some molten bronze. Which is a little bit of a red color. And keep on adding the gold or the bronze to it until I get a color I like. Yeah, that'll be fine, I think. Because that solid gold's way too bright for when I do a wash. Okay. Very careful, don't accidentally spray your model with blue gold flecks. I've done that many times. You want your paint to be thin, but it does spray a bit and you'll get gold speckles. Which is terrible. However, if it's not a solid coat, not a solid coat of gold, you can normally fix it by just using dull coat, because it will remove all the shine from the metallic particles. But since there's no actual like base coated with the gold, it'll just not show up or be very, very fine. Okay. I'm not too worried about my coat, my base coat here, just because I'm using a brown wash afterwards, and any kind of like white areas, let's get the brown on it. I'll deepen it a bit and turn it more of a goldy color. Also, the places that are kind of turning white, just because the paint's kind of like pooling in the darker areas. That means the lighter areas are like the raised areas, which are the parts I'm going to go back and highlight anyway. So I'm not too worried. I'm just more worried about overpainting right now. Make sure I'm not destroying my precious paint job on my black or red areas. Oh, overpainted. I have a gold patch. Gold speckles. You want to rub off the red. Give a bit of a rub until it goes away mostly. Oh, a chunk of metallic in there. I don't want to do that. So ruin the silhouette of this very delicate gold filigree thing. Make sure it's nice and thin. No chunks. Okay. Slowly painting off here. too worried about the undersides because it's where the ink will pool most. And that'd be a problem. Window again, hopefully it's not too noisy. Very tedious and delicate work here. But you can't really do a bad job. So if you go too fast, you start speckling gold everywhere. And I've just absolutely ruined my dark colors because that bright, shiny gold is just really stand out. So be very careful, very slow. Not the most enjoyable part, but it's very important. Because otherwise I have to go back and fix all those speckles, and that's worse than going slow on this part. Ugh, nice little car alarm in the background if you guys can hear that. Almost done. Have to wait for it to finish drying, and then I'll have to go and do the wash. You definitely don't want to wait. You don't want to add the wash too early because you'll get the gold specks in the wash itself, and you'll have it won't darken the metallic parts. It'll just have like random bright speckled areas in the recesses, which is not what you want. Okay, don't be hasty. I'm very impatient most of the time. Learned a lot of things. Metallics are normally hard to fix. Just gotta go slow. Level up your patience. Speckles. There is one part no, this is part I missed actually. That's fine. Any speckles though? Not seeing any, which is good. Just quickly clean up the underside of it. Okay. I'm running out of paint, so I'll mix up some more stuff. So my solid gold and the molten bronze. It never has to be perfect, especially since I'm doing a wash over it. It'll kind of blend it all together. So if it's a little too dark, a little too light, it doesn't actually matter. Some people are very scared of paint or mixing paints. It's just a real trial and error thing. I mix paints every single session. It takes practice. Also make sure there's not too much paint in your brush, because that's also a good way of getting it to flick little specks of Thanks, Umbernus. Hey. Wow. How's it going, guys? Thanks, paint splattered orc. How you guys doing? I'm just finishing up this dragon tyrant from Kingdom Death. What are you guys working on? It's come along not bad. I just did the gold today and touched up the flesh. So, what do you guys think? Very careful on these little areas. Don't get that gold spray everywhere. I'll work on his staff, I guess, next. His little pin cane? I don't know. I guess he's called the Dragon Tyrant, so he gets a bunch of sacrifices. So I guess this get a little bit of a harem. Working on this liquor cabinet, doing some IKEA building while you're watching people paint. Oh, nice, Admech. You doing like units or some of their fabled vehicles? Sorry, a little fried right now today. What are you speed painting? I quite enjoy speed painting. I've done quite a few. Done a lot of Iron Painter at Lock and Load, and 2 years ago I did Gen Con speed painting. I did like, every single one I could do, because I quite enjoy it. Okay. Oh. A little too much paint there. That should be good for now. I will go back and do a wash after it's dried. Okay, let's do a staff. What shall a staff be? Sicarians, are those the normal guys? Like the guys with the hoods, I think? And then Tech Priests. Yeah, those guys are Dr. Octopus's. Okay. What should the staff be? Staff will be... I don't want to do it dark. I might just do it like a cream color, like a very light white staff. I'm going to do some mouth white base for this part. And then maybe some wash to pick out some of the detail. It's a little craggy, this thing. Do you mainly do 40k stuff, or do you a wide variety of stuff? Houndstooth minis. Right now I'm just doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm doing some 40k, some Blood Bowl, some Chibi. Lots of good stuff. Did a whole bunch of assassins for the same client. Oh, is it having a bad connection right now? Yeah, it says a little bit of a frame drop. Sorry, my internet connection's a little terrible. Alright, first thing we'll have to upgrade. I used to keep on streaming. when I was doing my speed painting, I normally did between 20 to 40 minutes for one miniature. So, alright, thanks for the raid, guy. Alright, definitely give a shout out to you in my my post of pictures of this guy. Sorry, paint spotted orc. So for speed painting, I try and do like a 20 to 40 minute like timeline, and basically, so once it's primed and ready to paint, then you start your 20 minutes, and basically just give yourself like a schedule, like 5 minutes do all the flesh, 5 minutes do all the cloth, depending how big it is, right? So like if you got like a skeleton wearing metal and wood and so that, so like maybe spend 10 minutes doing the bone, 5 minutes doing the metals, and then 5 minutes touching up and maybe doing glow effects and stuff like that. Just want to be very careful with the gold before I do the wash and make sure it's all dry before I apply anything else. Alright, so this should be dry though. Let me use some cast painted flesh wash on this guy, just to pick out some of the details on that staff. It's also kind of a yellowy color too, so it'll help look nice with that bone color. It's actually not too much detail on this thing. I have to exaggerate some of this. I don't know if it's bone or it's wood. It's hard to tell. If you look at my, like for example, my Facebook page on toad painting, you can see like a few years ago, I've having some samples of my speed painting for lock and load. Oh, a little bit of a connection problem with my mic. Hopefully it doesn't interrupt you guys too much. Okay. Oh. What was that?
I've closed all my stuff just to see if I can give you some.
Okay. Yeah, apparently my connection is just being awful right now. Sorry, guys. Okay. Good old finger tap. See if it's dry yet. Okay. Also gotta make sure these parts. Oh, it actually looks kind of dry. Because normally the paint pools and it takes longer to dry in these recesses. Oh, okay, that's still wet there. A giant bundle. Alright, so let's give it a little longer. Okay. This is probably dry though. So let's just go back over in some areas and just apply a little more of a wash. Just oh, where are my dry? I can probably show you one of my ones I did.
What are you looking for? Speed paint.
Yeah, I think I have I got a mecha thrall. I did in 20 minutes. It was one of the entries for the Iron Painter, so they only give you 20 minutes, and there's like 30 to 40 people who do these things, and they pick the best 3. And so this was last year's, and I got picked the best 3. Then I won best overall of the Iron Painter with like this giant mech robot thing. I think I'll get it in a second. Was here.
Oh, here's your
Okay. So I didn't find the other guy, but okay. So here's another one. This is 40 minutes. This guy right here. This was at Lock and Load last year. There was a Mox Boarding House. They have like an event, And it's the first time they ever did it. They basically had 40 minutes, and it cost you $40, or maybe it was an hour. I forget. But basically, they give you these guys, and it was for a charity thing. And I won like a ebony and rainbow inlaid like dice box, which is very nice looking. So this is last year. This was at Gen Con 2 years ago. This was 45 minutes. And this is another Private Press model. This was 40 minutes. And so what I like to do is like glow effects and basically just show the shadow. So this guy's, I based him off of like a White Walker. And so hence the blue effects, and then so this doesn't come based, right? So I just basically did the shadow, as you can kind of see, coming off the sword. A little bit of glow effect off here, but then since the ground has got nothing on it, I just did the whole ground as blue. And then you can see his legs are a bit blocking the light. Oh, this guy's so dusty, but it's fine. This guy looks pretty terrible actually from close up. It looks better from like an arms. This is the model I won at the Iron Painter. So the Iron Painter, if you get to the final 3, it's a little weird because they make you do challenges. And so this year, your palette was, yeah, so I basically, before I start painting, I make sure my palette's ready, all my paints, I make sure what colors I've got are ready. And so, yeah, any time spent shaking up is lost. But this guy, so I basically, on my palette, I had this giant, I had a cut pancake. And so you had to paint around the pancake, and then one challenge was for like 30 seconds or a minute, you had to use the pancake as a brush. And so I did some battle damage, just took some silver and just speckled with the silver. But it's kind of like a classic, like those old like beat 'em ups where like the city's on fire, and so basically the lights, this is basically all the fire from the city is coming up, and then the back is just like the moon, the blue. Oh, I wish I had the Mecha Throw, because the Mecha Throw was 20 minutes. This guy was like 40 minutes, but with terrible brushes and only 5 colors they gave us. Give me a second. It was put away properly. Oh well, I can't find it. Anyway, so let's. I think my other guy's dry, so let's just do the brown wash in this guy. So the brown wash is actually going to be a bunch of inks because it keeps up the saturation. So I'm going to use a brown ink, but it's a little too red and a little too saturated for what I want. So I'm actually going to darken it and desaturate it a bit with a green ink. But okay, there we go. Just a tiny bit of green ink, and then we use a mixing medium to thicken it up. All right, so just a tiny bit of until I get to the right amount of green to brown ratio. I think that's fine. And a bunch of mixing medium. This is what gives it more of a gradient when it dries. But you need to be careful because this will like destroy detail because you want to glob it on. And so let's see if we've got a proper amount. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh yes, 10 hours is that's a long time. This guy right here, I'm about 4 hours in right now currently. So that's about, and he's a big guy. This guy is like a 52 mil scale, and like here's like and this is the normal, like a 2-inch kind of like just under 2-inch miniature here. Oh, thanks Sonic Spork. So there's also a point where you gotta say like, I'm done. Like, you can go back and touch up a miniature, but like, you don't want to like just work on it until oblivion unless you're doing like a competition piece. Just say you're done and then work on something else, and it gives you more inspiration. You can like go back after you like a year or so and say, oh yeah, this guy. And look at all the mistakes you've done this guy and see how much better you've done. Okay. Gotta make sure this doesn't pool into the cracks and get like this weird. I'll just start destroying detail. So just blowing some of the stuff out of the holes. Okay. I've lost my audio, my music, so give me a second. I can fix that. Okay. Sorry, just give me a second. Nice silly wireless headphones. Some have more trouble than they're worth. Okay. Let's try that. Oh. There we go. A little bit of tunes going. Alright. Hope that's better for you guys. I'm just trying the music out. This is my first day with music, so you know what you guys think or what kind of tunes you guys like. Let's go start painting on camera. I also find I'm painting a lot slower when I do like one miniature, so if you're doing like one D&D guy, I kind of prefer doing like 3 or 4 at a time. That kind of really helps with the process. So, just a few tips there. Don't focus on one thing. It's like some things, for example, like face, you can focus on the face because it's very the focal point, right? Like swords and stuff like that are normally a focal point as well. Anything that's kind of highly detailed, but then like cloth you can kind of fudge. It's kind of a big and bland area, right? Same with like big giant plates of metal. So yeah, once this is all, the wash is all done, I'll basically do a gloss coat, which really protects the model, and then I'll go back and do a dull coat. And then once the dull coat's done, all the metal's going to be like, won't have any shine to it. I'll go back and just pick out some of the most extreme areas and give it a bit of really shiny gold. Let's probably really care about the underside, so I want to make sure it's the same color. But make sure it doesn't pool too much, might destroy some of the holes. So right there it's pooling too much in this one area, kind of blocking off the edges. Seem to get into the recesses, so just be careful of the mixing medium. Oh, you're saying the music is huh. Maybe let's turn it off, see how that's like. Let's just destroy this whole thing. How's that? It'd be unfortunate if the music thing is causing me to buffer a lot. I have to find a different way of doing music then at that point. Eating up all my bandwidth basically, or my upload bandwidth. Oh, it's pooling too much there. Oh, thanks, Kazia? I'm terrible at pronouncing, so just don't be too offended if I mispronounce it. Okay. Not too bad. Just make sure it's not too much of a pool in some areas. How's the, oh, that's good. So I guess I'll have to figure out the music thing if I want to do music. That's unfortunate, but good to know. Thanks, paintsplatter.org. Okay. So that guy's just need a whole bunch of just touching up the gold at this point. I might just ignore that for now. Just make sure there's no, it doesn't pool in spots to destroy detail. Maybe we'll work on the staff some more. Have a good day, Mr. Rank 2014. 2004. Let me just make up names. I'm just trying to blow all the paint out of the recesses, because that obscures some parts. Sorry if it's a little noisy. Okay. But that's basically it for that. Thanks. It's the Dragon Tyrant from Kingdom Death. He basically transforms into this giant, like massive miniature, this giant dragon with a hole in his chest, and there's a little bit of ribs popping out. And he's got this giant stone, like a crystal, and so the crystal is kind of like where the glow effect on his chest is. It's also probably why he has no hair, because it's actually a lizard. Well, you can speed paint however long you want to do it. Like, but I normally set yourself a goal. So all the competitions I do are between 20 minutes to 40 minutes, and so, but it's like there's like you only get limited number of paints, so it's not like when I'm doing competition, it's like maybe like 6 to 8 paints, and then you'll get like 3 different brushes, and that's it. And so, if you want to speed paint for yourself, I mean, try a limited palette. It'll help you out. And there was no washes at all, like something like this. There's absolutely no washes. So, besides like adding water to your paints and stuff like that, he's not sealed at all. So, gotta be careful. Okay. Let's do some of that staff again. Let's darken it. Let's I need a yellowy brown for this. Okay, I'm going to take some bloodstone, which is a reddish brown, and then I'm going to add some sulfur yellow to it. And I'm going to start shading up that staff a bit more. Okay, let's try that. Just in some. That's too light. Let's darken it. It's probably a bit too warm, but I'll go back over it with the Menoth white. Okay, let's go back over now with the a much finer tip brush and do some of the detail on that staff. I actually already have some Menoth white base out, so that's what it is right here. I'm start reclaiming some areas and add some texture. I think it's supposed to be wood, but I can't really tell. It's just a soft detail area. Like a band of like metal I'm going to do there, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Oh, a little too much overpaint there. Just rub it away. Can't tell if it's supposed to be bone or wood, so I'm kind of doing a combination of both. Okay, let's take some more white here and just add a little bit to the cream, the Menoth white, and do some extreme highlights. Not too much. Okay, let's go back to the brown. Let's add some more texture a bit. And just get some metal band there and there and there. I'll just add it in now, I guess. Now I'm going to give that metal, since that gold kind of very similar color to the creamy brown, I'm going to give it a border after I've done a wash. It'll help define it, make it like it's actually like something attached to it instead of just being a weird muddy detail. Because the detail here is very soft on some parts. Like the details on his like chest is quite good and stand out a lot, but the detail on his dress and everything is really soft. Okay. So let's I'm gonna touch up his dress a bit more and highlight some areas. This is I'm gonna add some Keter red base or Keter red highlight, which is a weird orange color, and then some Scorn red. I'm gonna mix them together, and it's just going right here. So I get a bit of a orangey red, and I'm just gonna pick out some more of the detail, which I might have been lacking a bit because it's such a soft area. He's got like a weird floral pattern on his dress. Which kind of came out when I did a wash, but some parts I need to pick out more. also exaggerate and maybe even add my own detail because it's such a soft and it's kind of camouflaged a bit. So if it's just hidden so much, I might just add my own detail. So it kind of because it might just disappear entirely. It's supposed to be detailed there, but in the process of making the model, it kind of get rubbed away from many molds. So sometimes that happens. Because like right here, it feels like there's supposed to be something like connected here, but there's nothing. So I'm just gonna add it in, even if there's actually nothing there. Same with this part right here. Just got destroyed. There we go. Maybe lighten up this area a bit too. Just a very thin coat because of the folds and everything. I want to give it more depth without destroying too much of the detail. And define some of the edges more, creases and stuff. Oh, no, overpainted there. There we go. This whole area here could be a bit brighter. Exaggerate this fold a bit more. Gotta make it smooth though, so it doesn't like its texture. There we go. May not be easy to see on the camera, but from the eye it looks okay. Okay, and just a little bit of touch up there where I missed a spot. Sorry, I missed the text, the chat. I actually like to use big brushes because, like, how big is your detail brush? Because like the smallest brush I use is a 2, and I like to do for a lot of like my main painting is like a 3 or 4. I think it is. This one is a 4, and so like here's a 2 beside a 4, and like as long as the tip is good, you don't actually need much smaller brush because I find that like the paint reservoir just dries up too fast and you need to have less time, so there's more time basically going back and forth between the palette and the model. Yeah. Is it better now since I've turned off the music? Because I've got less things on audio-wise now.